guys, hopefully this works out, this little video. I'm running a rather large John Deere excavator, a 650D LC. Got a big ditching bucket on it. I don't know how well you can see it. Couldn't get the camera angled the way I wanted it. But I'm loading 35 and 40 ton rock trucks. Right now we've only got one 40 tonner running, it's this one. It's in it's what they call an ejector type. Instead of the box tipping up, it pushes out like you're having a poop. So basically it's kind of a little bit safer than the other trucks because you don't have to raise the box up in here to dump them, and dirt never sticks to the inside because it pushes it out like you're having a poop. And anyway, it's a commercial industrial subdivision I'm working on. I'm not working in Manitoba anymore. I'm working in Alberta. I'm not going to say where. I'll let you figure it out for yourself. So basically I'm working in the land of opportunity compared to the bullshit I was putting up with in Manitoba, where they have a communist government that does not believe in putting any money into roads or anything. Hence why I didn't put too many equipment operating videos on at all this year, because this is the first time I've run an excavator. I think probably since last December or something like that, November, December. So not bad, eh? But yeah, I'm running a 65 ton metric ton excavator. This is about a 5 or 6 yard bucket, so it's got a pretty good capacity to it. One of our other ejector trucks is down with flat tires, so it's a 740, whereas this one I believe is called a D400E, I think. I know I can't see the decals on it. So anyways, I load them up to the nuts and then they haul it to a Komatsu D61 bulldozer, and he blades it all out, and a tractor pulling a disc will disc it all up so that soil dries out, and then they run it over with a Cat 518D sheet spit compactor, soil compactor. They call them sheet spit sometimes because the pads on them look like the foot of a sheep, basically. They've been called that for many, many years. At least where I'm from. Sometimes they just call them a pad foot compactor. Anyway, we're pretty much dodging rainstorms and tornadoes and stuff to the west of us. Looking actually where you saw those clouds there, that's the west. And there was a tornado warning. You're wondering why I'm swinging so far when I've got to load rock trucks. As I'm digging this, I have to keep myself a bench and for the machine to sit on. So what we have to do is we knock off part of the wall as far as the machine will reach. We'll grab a few bucketfuls of dirt here, load it into the articulated dump truck, and keep going. And once I get to the end of this row, I've got to straighten this up somehow. I've got nothing as a reference so I can straighten it out. But I'll just keep tracking backwards here, and I'll get to a point where I'll stop, and then I'll go to the front of the cut there again and start digging. Normally when we do mass excavating work, you don't really want to swing more than 90 degrees. That really slows down your cycle times, and you end up with trucks waiting for you. Sometimes when you're working in construction, not everything works 100% the way it should, so sometimes you got to change or bend the rules a little bit. What I try to do is I always try to make myself a ready pile, and if I can reach, I scratch this down for the truck so they don't get a big rut and then end up spinning your tires, because this stuff's a bit wet or damp and kind of silty, so when you got a truck that's loaded down, it doesn't take much for them to spin. You want them to be able to come and go fairly easily. For the most part today, our haul road is holding up pretty good. I haven't seen our wide pad cat or the grader come by for quite a while, so generally that's a good thing. Nobody's gotten stuck. It looks incredibly nice and sunny right now, but it's about what's 2:30 right now. About 1 o'clock or so, it was kind of raining a bit. We all thought we were going to get washed out. Once it rains and the trucks hardly move, and then you can't get proper soil compaction, it just turns everything into shit. So basically they're just padding up for a subdivision. I'm not sure how many roads there are or what the elevations or any of that stuff is going to be. I haven't seen any blueprints or anything, so kind of sucks being down one truck, but at least you have a little bit of time in between them to clean up the floor a little bit. And some of our guys got washed out on a different job, so you might see a passenger in some of the rock trucks like this one. So they get paid to hang out. Stuff's a little sticky, but it's not terrible. It's definitely not that shit that I was loading a few years ago with that big Cobelco in the sand bucket. Hard at the bottom too, so I think that's fairly dry dirt. It's kind of hard to tell. It's got so much silt in it, so it acts all crumbly like dry dirt does. To me, this is actually beautiful dirt, to be honest. I don't know if you guys, some of my more faithful fans there recall, but a number of years ago I was loading, it was about 2 years ago, I was loading 25-ton rock trucks with a bunch of guys that couldn't back up, and they didn't understand why I preferred drive-through, so they just kept backing up to me, and often they couldn't back up straight to save their life. And anyway, I was loading that Red River gumbo, heavy gummy clay there that's so bloody wet all the time, and I had that kind of neat sand bucket there. Well, this stuff is dry compared to that fucking gumbo. I should also tell you that there's a D7 well, he was working up there, and he's trying to scrape off the dry stuff and supposed to be pushing it to me, but he's a new operator, so I think he's a little bit scared of getting too close to the edge. But they're supposed to go send the tractor with the disc up there and disc it up and dry it out a little bit so it compacts better. We've had a lot of rain here in the last 2 weeks. About a week and a half worth of rain before it kind of started drying out a little bit. And now here we go, we're kind of getting that kind of weather again. If you're wondering what that squeaking is, it's something to do with the hydraulics. It's not the machine, it's not actually the bushings. It gets greased every day and it gets a lot of grease. It's still working. If I could get more people to watch my videos, maybe I'd make some money off of it. I could buy a new GoPro camera. Turning out to be a nice day. I thought it was going to be rainy. Oh, thank God. Looks like that tornado's going a different direction. probably seen on some other videos, some friends of mine, like Burnout, making fun of that excavator in Calgary there. That guy running at 1250 wasn't loading up his bucket. Well, I do my very best as far as getting big bucketfuls. You don't want to do half bucketfuls unless maybe you're working in some really sticky stuff. You're trying to keep it from gumming up in the back of the bucket and you can never get it out. Sometimes when I got conditions like that, I'm using like a ditching bucket or something like that, then I just load it up high on the front.
You know I'm buried out he's up rock dirty.
Throw a little bit
of that miles under
dirt under my trucks. That makes the machine kind of level and it doesn't bounce as much. It's really nice running a big machine like this. Don't get me wrong, I like some of the small machines, but you can move this much dirt with the flick of the wrist, then it's kind of nice. We got another 600 here, an older machine, 600 CLC, John Deere as well. And up until we had that rain earlier, she was loading semi-trucks with topsoil that were hauling it off-site. Semi-trucks don't do very well in the rain and people don't like it when they track dirt all over the road, so they shut them down when it gets rainy. Then dirt just sticks to their tires and they track it everywhere, all over the pavement. Plus they get stuck like you wouldn't believe. Where I used to work, nobody ever had rock trucks up until a few years ago. They were always trying to get away with using tandems like semi-trucks. Just a straight truck, basically, if they had to haul off-road. Sometimes even tractor trailers, and then almost every job they would end up flipping a trailer and having to write it off. Until they dug the Red River floodway when some major construction companies came in, most of them from out of province, and everybody started switching over to articulated dump trucks, rock trucks. We just call them rock trucks because they're kind of like the big mining trucks, you know, the 380-ton machines.